So back to some sanding for me. Glassing the base to the deck with light fiberglass.
I've done as much as I could with this tool.
If this one falls off, we still have another one. That's the glassing done for this part. Pretty good for a first day back at the boat after 2 months off. We made a toilet base that's upside down here, and it's clamped, and stuff moves when you clamp, so it's clamped with many clamps. And we had a little mishap when I was shaping the foam, so I cut the wrong end of the foam off, which meant we had to fill a little bit there with a syringe. That worked
my
well.
Job.
And on the other side of the shed we have a shelf, and that shelf has now been glassed. One layer of glass only, but both sides, and that's all done. We managed to do both sides by putting plastic on top of the laminate when we completed it. That allows us to turn the whole thing around without getting stuck everywhere. So I expect the backside to look pretty good, and the top here will look really good as well. This is a pretty heavy fiberglass cloth, so there will be a bit of filling to do here, but yeah, that's expected. And the backside, being covered with plastic, is going to be smoother, but not smooth. And this is not peel ply. It's not a good replacement for peel ply at all. It just allows me to, or us to continue working on both sides of the material. So what are you doing?
I'm decoring the core. I'm decoring the foam for this shelf.
Yeah.
And this is the outside edge, so the edge towards the bathroom or head, or
towards the bathroom, yes.
We live in the bathroom, not towards the outside.
But,
and I've done as much as I could with this tool, but it cannot go any deeper, and it also cannot reach the very edges towards the fiberglass. So now I'm using this tool to remove whatever foam is left very close to the glass.
Yeah. And this, to most people, I think sounds unnecessary, because it's indoors, it's in the bathroom, and all of that. It's a foam core.
But it's in the bathroom.
Yeah.
So it's gonna get
yeah.
wet.
But it won't be underwater. The reason we do this is not for waterproofing. It's for painting. So this is so that when we fill this, we can paint it without getting 5 million pores from the foam. And then if you have to reshape this end, that reshaping is done much easier and better in glass than or what's called filler, epoxy filler, than it is in foam. And well, Rox is sanding the edge for this shelf. I'll be removing paint so that we can glue the base on the shelf in. So back to some sanding for me. Good fun.
Hi everyone, and thanks for tuning in for another episode of Building Wilda, our beautiful sailing catamaran in the making. As Axel explained just a little bit earlier, last week we started working on a toilet base and a shelf for our port aft head. Now we are doing the intermediary job, preparation of the surface and of the two new parts before gluing and glassing them into the boat. We are sanding away the paint and the fairing compound that was there in order to reach the existing fiberglass layer, and that will ensure a good bond between the new part that's being glued in and the existing material.
So I've done a little bit of work off camera. I've glued in the base for the toilet, and the epoxy hasn't set yet. I just glued it in 15 minutes ago. And what I'll do now is I'll glass it in with, well, tab it in with some light fiberglass. So I have some light woven fiberglass here, and that's really only to make the edges of this base a little bit more solid. It's a foam base, and if you kick it and all that, eventually you'll damage it. So, and it'll also tie the fiberglass plate I have on the top of the base to the deck, making the thing practically impossible to rip off. In case you end up upside down sometime and you're afraid to get the toilet in your head or something. I think you have bigger problems than that though at that point. But anyway, glassing the base to the deck with light fiberglass. So this is coffee and this is epoxy. We do not want to mix the two too much. Getting cold in Australia. view here, I'm wetting out each little piece of fiberglass I'm then gluing in. And you may have noticed that I'm like fiberglassing over filler, which is of course not the most structural way to do fiberglassing, but this is not a structural piece of the boat. This is a base for my toilet, or one of two toilets. If this one falls off, we still have another one. But this whole area on the bottom has of course been glued with fiber filler mix to the boat, and here on the deck, and I'm glassing to glass mostly. It's not going anywhere. That's the whole idea. So that should do it. 2 layers of thin glass all around this base, and yeah, it won't go anywhere. It's not perhaps the prettiest glassing I've ever done, but yeah, it's mostly going to be covered by a big toilet, so small step closer. The next thing we do is this stiffener goes in the shelf, but it's easier to do this with some help from Roxana, so we'll do it together.
Okay.
Yeah. Good.
So, what are we gonna do?
Here we were just trying to make sure that it will be easy to find the best position for the shelf to be straight and flat, and so that it sits properly when it will have the glue on. And we discovered that a bit more sanding was needed. What a surprise! The next step was preparing a batch of epoxy glue to attach it in place forever. Then we prepared a fiberglass cloth that was needed for tabbing the underside of the shelf. We made sure to also protect with a plastic foil the remaining of the side of the wall that had been faired and primed before. Otherwise, drops of hardened epoxy would be tough to remove. And just like that, slowly and meticulously, we finished glassing the underside of the shelf and we called it a day. The following morning, we wanted to check the result and we were ready to move on.
Sorry?
I'm thinking we should start glassing or finish glassing this shelf here. And what?
Yeah? Yes?
What's so funny?
Not so funny. Glassing a shelf?
Yes, the
What
top
shelf are you
side
talking
of
about?
the top side of the bathroom shelf here. There and there. Yes, hopefully we could catch it in the camera.
Maybe.
Anyhow, that is the plan.
So you got both the screws?
Yes.
Yeah?
Now we have
And
to...
it's still in place? It's not moving?
Yes, of course.
Then,
it's glassed from below.
Then we're good.
It's glassed
that's a
from
good
below,
start.
so it's not going anywhere.
Good.
Yes.
So what do we...
So we need to bring a roll of fiberglass cloth. Then we need to measure and cut it to
Yeah.
length.
Yeah, and glass the top.
Yes, and we make a little bit of filler to fill the hole where the screw was.
Yes.
I'm trying to clean up as much as possible. And I think I'm quite ready.
Yeah. So now we glass the top end.
Hmm?
Now we just glass the top end.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'll clean first.
Yeah.
But I think I've taken down the rough bits and sanded the surface a little bit. Yeah.
Sounds good. Then we're pretty much ready for glass.
Yeah.
Some acetone maybe.
Yeah.
While I've been working on some window molds, Roxana has been preparing the last glass here for the shelf in the bathroom. It's great. So we'll wet these pieces out and glue them to the boat, and that's the glassing done for this part.
So what are you waiting for? Oh, what are you waiting for? I feel a little unsafe on the surface. I feel a little unstable in all this. And you thought that I knew, but I guess I'm...
And as you could probably guess, the bathroom is not quite finished yet. We'll share more on this topic in a future video. But for now, we thank you for your interest in following our project, and we'll be waiting for you here next Sunday with a new video. Thanks for watching. Your comments and likes are highly appreciated, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so yet.